fuck it, we here. Fuck it, we here. I wasn't even gonna do this until months out, but like, I'm about to crash out soon because I need to afford rent and shit. As of the time of recording this, it is 7:29, to the July 29th at 3:10 p.m. I was gonna save this shit for a very, very long time later. I really was. I'm getting the alcohol out. And yes, YouTube, I'm getting the alcohol out. Demonetize me if you wish. You don't even pay me. And I'll be delivering the hottest content that you should like, subscribe, and hit the bell and stay notified on. I've been hitting with the uploads. Y'all been watching them. So what's up? Y'all like the editing style? Y'all want me to add some B-roll, get some voiceover type beats? I could do that. I'll do that just for you, baby. Just let me know in the comments down below. Anyway, I wasn't gonna do this. I really, and I mean this from like the bottom of my heart. I was gonna stay away from this, but I feel like it must be fucking done. I want to talk to you about peaking in high school again for the last time. Now, I know the first thing to do is see the pictures I'm showing you on the screen and to laugh. I understand that, and you should. I truly believe that in the last 2 pieces I've made thus far, I've extended enough gratitude towards people who I believe had a moment where they peaked in high school, they peaked in fucking high school, and what ended up happening is the same thing that happens to a lot of people who can't afford to leave their hometowns. You get stuck in a pattern of meeting people and time passing over on and on top of everything that you were told you were supposed to gain as you got older. When you turn 18, you know, you're a legal adult. When you turn 21, you're allowed to buy liquor and cigarettes and this and that, blah, blah, blah. All these milestones. If you rip these milestones away from people, and yes, I'm keeping her face on the screen so that way I can have fun and you can have something to look at and laugh at, because I know you laughing right now. We are at what I believe is the penultimate moment in discussing this peaking in high school thing. Because I could bring up a lot of names. It is not fair for me to say that Kamala Harris, who graduated with honors, got a degree, all of that, like lightly, you know, all that. Kamala Harris didn't peak in high school. So of course she looks goofy to insecure motherfuckers. That's what this is about. That's what this has always been about. The reason why people are telling you that you are weird, that you peaked in high school, that you have no morals, you clearly grift, is because you have nothing to tether you to this earth. You don't have shit. Because the moment anybody ever approaches any of you who look this weird and do that weird shit, it reminds me of those kids who, by nature of wanting to be accepted but not knowing how to, would approach you mad randomly and be like, yo, hey guys, hi, you guys want to be my friend? And when they said no, loser, it burrowed in your head. But since you came from money, since you had a little upbringing, your mother and father coddled you. Your mother and father coddled you. And they said, oh my Lord, how can anyone not like you? They gave you to Jerry Seinfeld. How can anyone not like you? And you smiled and you went up to your room. And then your dad beat your wife. Your dad beat your mom. Like, it could be something. It could be something as traumatic as Elon Musk. Oh, I'm the guy who's like the real life Tony Stark. You big him up. You big him up. And then over time, people can pay more attention to you. And they say, wait a minute, you kind of whack. You kind of corny. You dead ass corny for real. And do you know what these people return to that makes them realize all of a sudden, oh shit, I don't got it in my heart? Every single need of theirs is fulfilled. You weren't expecting that, right? You know the statement about how like being poor builds humility? I could do a whole 45-minute video essay on that one sentence and its extrapolation into real world events. But bear with me for a second. Let me put y'all on game. Every need of theirs is fulfilled, except for one. The same thing they've never gotten their entire lives. Acceptance from people who they feel weren't forced to accept them. So there's still that little kid, whether you 45, whether you 55, if you out of high school, this can probably apply to you. Just simple as that. Every piece that is watched of yours, that is paid attention to, is now scrutinized. Do you believe that a man like J.D. Vance has the ability to ignore that? Do you believe Myron Gaines has the ability to ignore that? Do you think Elon Musk has the ability to ignore that? Lil Pump, Isabella Moody, whoever runs the Right to Bear memes, Ryan Garcia, Shyamala is an extinctionist. The natural extension of her philosophy would be a de facto holocaust for all of humanity. You knew people who acted like this. Here's the next layer of this finality to this idea. There were people in said schools, your behavior, that would tell you this shit is weird and you need to change. Two things, you only get only get one crossroads in this life. Tons of them, but at that very point in time, this will decide a majority of your growing up. You either adapt to your surroundings or you continue to be yourself. Does that sound like a choice that has been made off? It really feels like people don't understand that the Matrix is a trans allegory. Yes, it's the allegory. Be who you really are or adapt into society. What happens when the reality is just stupid? It's just dumb. Motherfucker tried to take a shot at Trump. Missed. Ha ha memes. World War III. Ha ha memes. How much are you coping through this entire existence pretending to be something that you're not? Pretending that you have to adapt into the mold of what's online. Wait a minute. If we analyze that sentence real quick, doesn't that sound like what the right says a lot about how we all have to... Yeah. I've been raising money on my stream and I just reached my goal for rent, so that took up a little bit of time. As you're watching this on YouTube, I already paused it here, so you don't even need to hear this part, but I like to clue you in on a little bit of what's happening. It's getting much brighter outside because it's gonna rain soon, so let's fix that. And back to the topic. When you don't get a chance to fail for reasons that you feel are validated, you end up wanting to change the system that you think has failed you. Now that we're a little bit closer together, and when I say a little bit, I mean we're probably all removed at least by 1 degree at this point, if not 2. You don't realize how many ideas you've shared and how many ideas you've received. Things make logical sense when they happen now. But because you're so used to a tug and pull, people still want to live like there's a tug and pull. It sounds like what the right tells you to do, right? It tells you about this dynamic of the left wants you to conform to what they said. Like Vivek saying, oh, you want to be bold, you want to stick it to the man? Try walking into your college campus and calling yourself a conservative? Why would I need to? What are you rallying against? You're in power. Your words rule the land. You say there are 2 genders and then act like everybody should just agree with that. That's not the way Earth has worked. Crack open a history book. Why are you asking me to believe in your reality? Because you were never accepted in mine. You were never accepted in the places that I was accepted, and that hurts you. And now I'm realizing that it don't matter if you got millions of dollars, billions of dollars, or you got $3 in your pocket. Everyone knows rejection. The question is, how much have you absorbed from those who told you that the rejection is other people's fault and refuse to look inward? This is the obvious part. This is the part that you recognize. This is the part of growth where somebody got to go online and say, well, I think women shouldn't have the right to vote. Ha 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 ha. This is the part where you know about, oh, if you just dress a little bit better, take care of yourself, get some steps in, walk, and try to be a little bit more social and actually listen and be attentive, you too might be able to meld into a place in society based on your interests. Do the people who go outside like the same things you do? Can you find those people? Are you willing to not be weird about it when you find those people? Are you expecting something from this interaction? Layers. And all of those can be answered with, well, what was your high school experience like? What was your middle school experience like? Did your parents tell you that it was everybody else's fault because clearly you had enough money to survive, so they must be were those the type of people who used to say, I don't want no low rent, low income, gifted students going to my school? Who are the people? Who are the people? Questions that you and I have yet to ask ourselves because we're still hurtling through life. There's no calm point. When is the last time you felt calm? The Cold War existed, so knock the whole fucking past out. 2001. You grew up watching the Twin Towers be destroyed, and then you were told that it's the brown people's fault. You're not politically woke, you're a fucking child. What do you do then? You're a child, but the adults back then weren't. They were still adults. Same dynamic, no outlet like this. Water cooler conversations. Ideas spread like that, based on where you work, based on your income, income, based on your district, you had certain types of conversations. You were able to meet different types of people. So when you say these people peaked in high school, I think it's easy to see why. Because they hate themselves. And there's power in hating yourself. And the reason why it's so hard to let go of these people, why we can't just let them fade into obscurity, is because there's millions of people who identify with hating themselves. They hate to be reminded of the bad things they've done. So they'll do more bad things to forget the past bad things. While you're sitting there hoping and praying that this shit go normal, that your life is gonna be so wonderfully, beautifully tied together to a white picket fence, a relationship. Nope. Every day you're wondering about whether or not the barrel on the top of the gun feels warm enough to pull the trigger. Why? Because they hate you. How can someone hate themselves and hate someone else at the same time so powerfully? An empty, hollow vessel. Once you start making that popular, once you do that shit once and it pop, you're gonna have to keep doing that, especially if you invest billions into it. Now you can't escape it. Anyone who sounds real is a leftist who's trying to convince you that there are more than two genders and that like black people are actually held down by this. All these caveats. But if we stop talking about it, the caveats will still exist because you get mad when I bring up the caveats. You hate something that I can't change. You don't want it to change. We are fundamentally at odds with our souls. So I have no choice, because I can't do it now, I have no choice but to go into your past. And the pasts of thousands of influencers like Laura Loomer, like Tim Pool, like Steven Crowder, backed by money because nobody else gives a shit. They are just the weapons that the larger powers use. And they themselves become the larger powers. There's no conspiracy. Y'all saw the deal that Jeremy Boring, fucking loser, tried to sell another loser 50 mil, 100 mil, fucking losers spending money on each other. Oh, Destiny beats his wife. Oh, so does Steven Crowder. Both are canceled. No. I can't wait to have Destiny on my stream. You just perpetuate this. And nobody knows that other things exist because this is the cool shit. This is the drama. I like him. He's true to it. He don't listen to the agenda. Oh, you mean the agenda of if you don't tighten up your act, you will get bullied because you are not no longer in your nice Terrytown house. You are in Yonkers. And niggas don't play that here. You're weird. I'm ostracized for being myself. I have to strike it out on my own. Instant radicalization. But then I'm supposed to be able to do all of this off the top of my head with no script, no borderline wall, and no ending in sight. And you wonder why it feels like this entire time I've been talking on top of people. No, I empathize with them. All my friends are quite literally dead. I don't have another person around to create that point and laugh and stare. No, I lost too many people over the last 4 years. So now what? Now it's really easy to see people because they don't move outside of the high school dynamic. Boo, they're bad. Boo, come with the cool kids. Everybody come sit at my table. Fuck you, pay me first. How many backstories of these people do you know? How many times they've crashed and burned? You don't find it odd that every single one of them has a core repeating point, a core talking point? Get out of trying to analyze things through a political lens. Look at them as people. Why would they all find a common ground when they hate others that look like them? It's the money. It's the money. It's the money. Money don't stop a bullet from hitting you. So what is it really? What is it really? It's got to be something so deep down inside that if you could just crack that nugget open, just spin that golden snitch, the egg, whatever it was. Fuck Harry Potter. Oh God, I hear the comments now. It's gotta be something. People normally refer to this as the power dynamic between the bullied and the bulliers. The bullies and the bullied. If I have a dragon and you have a dragon, it's whoever's the better dragon rider. If I can all of a sudden get like 7 dragons, we're jumping your shit. Back the fuck up. Skedaddle. Get the fuck out of here. Skis-fucking-daddle. So now you end up at a really bad impasse. You, yourself, the person watching this hopefully, can kill dragons. Now anyone can ride a dragon. So what you gonna do? You ready to get jumped? Just ask yourself, really quickly. Just ask yourself.
Amazing, the people in this room, high IQ individuals. I'm running against a low IQ individual, her. I'm not even talking about him, her. I got a low IQ individual.
All of a sudden now, the obvious is what they're running with because you're not doing enough to ridicule it when it wasn't obvious. That's a dog whistle. Nah, that's not enough. That's not enough. We gotta be on target the same way. I saw my good friend Aston Mack post earlier. How come the Dems don't got a version of Project 2025? Where's your version where you got a plan? It's just, oh, we hope a couple things happen. Niggas got it charted out. Do this down to the T. They felt so confident they put it out because they're the kids who write the school shooter manifestos and don't care who sees it. I'm still pulling up on that day to shoot everybody. Why would somebody this poisonous be revered so much? Oh, they love him because he speaks the truth. He's got the aura. Okay, that should all be fucking gone now. What's left? Hatred. A hatred that you understand politically, but you refuse to listen to me when I say you have to look at it emotionally. You want to crack down on these people? You want to really like slam it to them? You have to interject this truth within it. One time. Anybody who stands across from one of these people, all you have to say is, what were you like as a kid? You had a bicycle growing up? You had friends growing up? I could tell by your stature and your demeanor that you're a weirdo. You're a rejected one. Rejection, dejection. You're one of those people. I don't value what you say because I know you don't value what you say. You are empty space, hollowing up, building up. Pure hatred to explode it. And once you taste power, the first thing you do is you go after anybody who could liberate them from underneath you. Because you don't deserve that power. It's flimsy and it sits there on a pedestal, just waiting to be. And then the world sucks on top of it. I could have spearheaded this entire conversation with just simply saying, from a political standpoint, why would Hulk Hogan talk about the price of gas and eggs and milk and bread? You are a millionaire, my nigga. But that sounds shallow. That sounds surface level. That sounds boring. I'll bring you to real. So let's move on to the final part. Part three of You Peaked in High School. The resounding no. Hey, can you remind me to put in its edit right now a big black square that says no? And every time I say the word no, even if I'm not paying attention when I say the word no, the black square keeps coming up. Okay, and go. There is no reason why anyone would live like this unless it was sustainable outside of their ego. You have to be in a place where no one can reject. What happens, and I really want you to focus here. I'm gonna even spin it in right now. I'm gonna even spin it in. Please focus on my face. Hello. Thank. What happens when you start growing this space of hatred and then you condense it and start gatekeeping behind money and politics and who stays beyond the lane and who's gonna be the one to say no? You are your own worst enemy because you have no choice but to be. You live in a system that is tethering you in so many directions that you haven't been able to sit down and develop a true sense of what you love. Some people are lucky enough to do so. Some people are lucky enough to delude themselves into thinking that they're meant for this when they're not. The entirety of this wishy-washy political online bullshit is spearheaded by thousands of niggas who have not grown up out of this mindset. The resounding rejection that they refuse to receive. So they got their little groupies full of thousands of people who can all be little kiss-ass yes men to them. So they can say, see, people love me now. And that's all you'll ever be, is lonely, sad, pathetic, and useless. And I'm personally tired of pretending that there aren't real niggas out there who are scumbags at best, but still work off a code of ethics and honor. I would never fucking rob a woman in a wheelchair. You niggas have played around with the idea of harassing people in wheelchairs. You have made content off of that. You have made content off of abusing minors. You have made content out of abusing each other. You have made content attacking each other. You have made content bullying one another. But you know what's funny about all of that and how I know that like this is going to be the end of you come a certain time? I realize more often than not that the more you become a disingenuous prick, the more like Negan-esque characters start popping up in your life. I have had so much grace thinking about the last time I talked about people like Brianna Wu, Destiny, Vosh, and now there's like thousands of others to hit to the list. More ignoramuses just feeding Alex Stein, IRI, Progressive Victory, the Progressive Victory that funnels. Why is it that all these people are at the top? Because that's what we designed. That's what we designed this place for. That's what we designed this place for. Specifically that. Specifically that. That and nothing else. That and nothing else. We formed ourselves on the precipice of bleeding our eyes dry listening to these people because that's what was given to you. Everything in this world has kind of been given to you in the form of, if it wasn't you, it was always going to be somebody else. So the classes divide further. And when the classes are divided this much, it's pretty easy to see who's sitting at the nerd table and who's sitting at the cool kids table. But when you come up in the middle of everything, and you say to yourself, if that's the truth, then why is everything so hollow? Oh, it's because you found a way to create a world in which nobody could tell you no. I hate to end it like this, but welcome to the real world, jackass! It's okay that you peaked in high school. Just stop talking to niggas who graduated from college. You from the school of hard knocks? I'm from the college of kicking doors down. And that's the end of this 3-part saga known as You Peaked in High School. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell to stay notified. I'm gonna go kill a fly up there. I'll see you later.